Inside, Lily and Angie picked their way around the wreckage. "You're marked too?" Lily asked. Trevor laughed, a broken, hollow sound. "Yeah." He flopped onto a threadbare couch, staring up at the ceiling. "I heard the knock 6 months ago." 6 months? But your date?" Angie started. Trevor cut her off. "I beat it." He smiled then, a wide, cracked smile. Lily's stomach twisted. "How?" she asked, already fearing the answer. Trevor's smile widened. "Same way everyone does, if they're smart." He mimed, slitting his throat with 2 fingers. "You pass it along," he said. "You make a trade." Lily felt the blood drain from her face. "You sacrifice someone." Trevor shrugged, unrepentant. "Better them than me." Angie backed toward the door, face pale. Lily's heart pounded. "Who?" Trevor tilted his head, grinned. "Friend of mine, guy named Sam. Good dude, honestly. But he didn't deserve to live more than I did." He laughed again, a horrible scraping noise. "He didn't even see it coming," Trevor said. "The Herald took him instead. 3 knocks, a whisper. Gone." Lily's hands clenched into fists. "You murdered him." Trevor shrugged again, unbothered. "It's not murder if something else does it." Lily lunged forward, grabbing his shirt. "Who else?" she hissed. "Who else on the list made the trade?" Trevor's grin faltered. Fear crept into his eyes. "I don't know," he said. "I swear. They don't tell you. It's personal." Lily shoved him back onto the couch. He didn't fight, didn't seem to care. "You'll have to decide soon, anyway," he said, smirking. Clocks ticking. The urge to hit him, to hurt him, burned hot inside her. But Max barked sharply from the hallway, breaking the moment. Lily stepped back, breathing hard. Angie grabbed her arm. "Come on," she whispered. They left Trevor's apartment without another word. As they reached the stairwell, Lily glanced back. Trevor watched them from the doorway. Still smiling, still alive. And something in his shadow twisted, stretched impossibly. Reaching toward them, they ran. Outside, the mist was even thicker, the sun a dim white smear overhead. Lily leaned against the car, trying to catch her breath. Angie was shaking. "He's a monster," she said. Lily nodded. Her stomach roiled. Her head throbbed. Trevor had made his choice. He lived. Someone else died, and Lily was supposed to do the same. The thought tasted like ash in her mouth. She looked down at Max, who wagged his tail. Uncertainly, could she really doom someone else just to survive, someone she loved? The answer was no. No. Never, she whispered. But a small, traitorous voice inside her laughed. "Wait until the 3rd knock. Wait until you're begging for one more breath." They drove in silence again. No music, no talking, just the rumble of the engine and the heavy, choking mist pressing in from all sides. At a red light, Lily glanced at the rear-view mirror. For a moment, she swore she saw Trevor sitting in the back seat. Grinning, she whipped around. But the seat was empty. Just Max. Just air. Her heart wouldn't slow down. They stopped at a gas station on the edge of town. Angie ran inside to grab coffee and snacks. Max stretched out across the back seat, panting softly. Lily leaned back, eyes closed, trying to think, trying not to drown. A tap on the window startled her. She opened her eyes. An old woman stood outside the car, thin, weathered, dressed in a long black coat despite the heat. Her eyes were milky white, clouded with cataracts. Yet somehow, Lily knew she was staring right at her. The woman beckoned, one crooked finger curling. Against all reason, Lily rolled down the window a crack. The woman leaned in, breath rattling.
"You've been seen," she whispered. Lily's blood turned to ice. The woman reached into her coat and dropped something into Lily's lap, a small, black stone, polished smooth. Then she turned and shuffled away, vanishing into the mist. Angie came back a minute later, juggling coffees and a bag of chips.
"Who was that?" she asked. Lily just stared at the stone. Cold, heavy, on its surface, faintly carved, choose or be chosen. The clock was ticking faster now. The herald was coming, and Lily was running out of time. The car ride back to Angie's house was almost silent, except for the sound of Max whining softly in the back seat, tail thumping nervously. Except for the pounding of Lily's heart, so loud she was sure Angie could hear it. The stone sat heavy in her pocket. Choose or be chosen. The old woman's words echoed in her mind over and over until they blurred into a chant. "You've been seen. You've been seen. You've been seen." They reached the house just before dusk. The mist hadn't lifted. If anything, it had thickened, swallowing the neighborhood whole. Street lights flickered uncertainly, barely cutting through the gloom. The world looked wrong, like someone had taken reality and stretched it too thin. Inside, they moved mechanically, locking doors, checking windows, drawing blinds. The house felt like a sinking ship. No matter how many holes you patched, the water kept rushing in. Finally, they collapsed in the living room, Angie on the couch, Max at her feet, Lily standing, pacing, unable to sit still. "I can't just wait to die," Lily said. Her voice cracked halfway through the sentence. Angie looked up, eyes wide and tired. "What else can we do?" Lily dug the black stone out of her pocket, held it up. "There has to be a way to break it." Angie stared at the stone like it might explode. "You heard Trevor," she said. "There isn't. You sacrifice someone else or you die." "No," Lily said fiercely. "There has to be another way, a third choice." Angie said nothing, just looked at her, sad and scared. Lily turned away. She couldn't bear to see that look. Not. Now she needed hope, even if it was a lie. She pulled out the crumpled list, stared at the names, some crossed out already, some still whole. An idea sparked, wild and reckless. What if we find someone who broke the curse? Someone who found another way? Maybe Trevor wasn't the only one who survived. Maybe someone else fought back. She had to believe that. "Tomorrow," Lily said, her voice steadier now, "we start knocking on doors." "Literally?" Angie asked, half smiling despite herself. "Literally," Lily said. "Anyone still alive on this list, we find them. We ask them everything. And if they don't want to talk," Lily met her eyes, dead serious, "then we make them." Angie nodded slowly, some tiny spark of fight returning to her. Max barked once, sharp and eager, as if he understood. They made a plan, mapped out the town, split the names into sections, prepared questions. It felt good. It felt right. Hope was a dangerous thing, but it was better than despair. Night fell fully now, heavy and absolute. The mist pressed against the windows like curious hands. At midnight, Lily's phone buzzed. Reminder, 25 days left. The number had dropped again. Time was slipping through her fingers like sand. She turned the phone face down, ignored it. Instead, she sat cross-legged on the living room floor, the list spread out before her, the stone beside it, Max pressed against her side, warm and grounding. "You're not taking me," she whispered into the empty room. The mist howled against the house, almost like it was laughing. Sometime after 2 a.m., Lily finally drifted into a fitful sleep. She dreamed she was standing at the bottom of a staircase, old splintering, leading up into darkness. She could hear someone sobbing at the top, calling her name. She climbed, step after step, each board groaning under her weight. The higher she went, the colder it became. Her breath puffed out in white clouds, her fingers numbed. Finally, she reached the landing. A door stood before her, cracked open. Beyond it, nothing but blackness. A hand reached out from the darkness. Thin, claw-like. It grabbed her wrist and yanked. She screamed, woke up gasping, drenched in sweat. Max barked frantically, pawing at her. Angie sat bolt upright on the couch, disoriented. Someone was pounding on the front door. 3 knocks. Slow. Measured. Lily scrambled to her feet, heart thundering. "Don't open it!" Angie cried. "I know!" Lily snapped, panic sharpening her voice. They backed away from the door. Max growled, deep in his chest. The knocks came again. 3 perfect, deliberate strikes. Lily squeezed her eyes shut, felt the stone burning cold in her pocket. Another knock, and another, and another. Not just 3 now. Dozens. A chorus of fists slamming against the house from all sides. Windows, walls, roof. They were surrounded. The mist. Inside the house thickened until it was hard to breathe, hard to see. Lily groped for Angie's hand, found it, held tight. "I'm not giving up," she whispered fiercely. She pulled the stone from her pocket, raised it high. The knocks stopped. Instantly, the house fell deathly silent. The mist froze mid-air, like a painting. Then slowly, it began to twist. Form shapes, figures, dozens of them, shadowy, indistinct, standing just beyond the edges of her vision, watching, waiting. Lily took a deep breath, stepped forward. The stone pulsed once in her hand. The figures shifted, whispered. Susurration like leaves on a grave. One stepped closer, almost solid. Lily saw a face, familiar and yet horribly wrong, eyes like pits. Mouth stitched shut. She raised the stone higher. It flared with black light. The figure recoiled, hissed, and for the first time since the nightmare began, Lily felt it, power, tiny and flickering, but real. She could fight back. She would fight back. The figures melted into the mist, snarling and howling. The house creaked and groaned, the walls shivered, and then silence. Real silence. The mist thinned. The lights stopped flickering. Max barked once, sharp, victorious. Lily dropped to her knees, gasping for air. Angie knelt beside her, eyes wide. "What the hell was that?" "I don't know," Lily said, laughing breathlessly. "But whatever it is, it's scared of this." She held up the stone. It was cracked. Now, tiny fractures running through its polished surface. A weapon, a shield, maybe even a key. They weren't helpless anymore. Lily rose shakily to her feet. "This changes everything," she said. She looked at the list again, at the names, the crossed-out ones, the ones still alive. Tomorrow they would find the others. Tomorrow they would start fighting back. No more waiting to die. No more running. The Herald. Wanted sacrifices, wanted them afraid, but Lily Anderson wasn't going to be an easy meal. Not anymore. Morning broke grey and grim. The mist hadn't lifted. It never seemed to anymore. Lily sat at the kitchen table, the list spread out in front of her, the cracked black stone resting on the wood like a loaded gun. Angie made coffee in the background, every movement stiff, mechanical. Neither of them had slept after the attack. Not really. But adrenaline burned hotter than exhaustion. They had a plan now. And even if it was insane, it was better than waiting. Find the others. Find the other, marked. Lily's finger traced the list. 7 names uncrossed. 7 potential survivors. 7 potential enemies. Because if Trevor was any example, not everyone marked had clung to their humanity. Some had already made their trade. Some might do anything to keep breathing. She picked a name at random, Diana Foster, 112 Willow Lane. She circled it. "We start with her," Lily said. Angie slid a coffee mug across the table. "I'll drive." Lily smiled gratefully. Max barked once, eager, tail wagging. He didn't know what they were doing, not really. But he knew one thing. Stick with the pack and… Right now, they were a pack of 3. They loaded into Angie's old sedan, list and stone tucked safely away. The mist clung to the roads like spider webs. The town looked abandoned. Windows shuttered, shops closed, cars sitting idle and dust-covered. The few people they did pass didn't meet their eyes. Heads down, hurrying nowhere. It was like the entire town knew something bad was coming, but nobody dared name it. Willow Lane was on the far side of town, a nicer area once. Big. Trees, wide lawns, white picket fences. Now, it looked just as hollow as the rest of the town. They found 112 easily. A small blue house, porch sagging under the weight of neglect. Weeds strangled the yard. The mailbox hung crooked, stuffed with yellowed. Newspapers, no car in the driveway, no lights on. Think she's still alive? Angie asked. Only one way to find out, Lily said grimly. They approached the porch carefully. Max stayed close, low to the ground, hackles raised. Lily knocked 3 times. Each knock echoed strangely. Too loud, too slow. They waited. For a moment. Nothing. No sound. No movement. Then, a soft shuffle behind the door. Lily's heart jumped. She leaned closer. The door opened a crack. A single bloodshot eye peered through. "Who are you?" a raspy voice demanded. "My name's Lily," she said quickly. "I'm marked. Like you." The eye widened. The door slammed shut again. Locks clicked. Lily heard hurried footsteps moving away from the door. "Diana!" she shouted. "Please!" "Wait!" No response. She banged the door with her fist. "We can help each other." Still nothing. She turned helplessly to Angie. "What now?" Before Angie could answer, Max stiffened, growled deep in his throat. Lily froze. Movement at the side of the house, a shadow slipping between the trees. Not Diana. Someone else. Someone watching. Angie saw it too. Her hand found Lily's wrist, squeezing tight. "Back to the car," she whispered. They backed away slowly, Max snarling low, ears flat. As they reached the driveway, Lily risked one last glance back. For a split second, she saw a figure at the window, tall, thin, face hidden in shadow. Not Diana. Someone. Something else. They drove back toward downtown, the unease sitting heavy on their chests. "She's terrified," Angie said finally, breaking the silence. "Wouldn't you be?" Lily muttered. They pulled over at an abandoned gas station to regroup. Max hopped into Lily's lap, pressing against her, seeking comfort. She didn't have much to give. She pulled out the list again, crossed a line through Diana's name. Not dead, but unreachable. "Next?" Angie asked wearily. Lily scanned the list, found the next name, Eli Winters, 5 Oak Crescent. Another address she recognized, a cluster of run-down duplexes behind the high school. Maybe they'd have better luck this time. They found 5 Oak Crescent easily. The building sagged under its own weight, paint peeling, windows cracked. A beat-up red truck sat in the driveway. Someone was home. Lily knocked 3 times, steeling herself for whatever came next. The door opened almost immediately. Man stood there, mid-30s maybe, wearing jeans and a torn hoodie. He had a long, jagged scar down one side of his face, as if something had tried to rip it off. His eyes were sharp, alive, suspicious. He glanced at the stone Lily held, his mouth twisted into a grim smile. "Another one," he said. Lily exhaled, relief and fear warring inside her. "You know about the Herald," she said. Not a question. Eli nodded. "Yeah, I know." He stepped aside. "Better come inside before it sees you." The inside of the duplex was neat but bare. No pictures, no decorations, no signs of life beyond the absolute essentials. It looked like a bunker. Eli motioned for them to sit, offered. Then water. Watch them closely. You're marked too, Lily said. Eli nodded again, rolled up his sleeve to reveal a mark on his forearm. 3 black dots in a triangle, almost like a brand. I got my date 2 months ago, he said. June 3rd. Lily swallowed. And you didn't make the trade? Eli's face darkened. I tried, he admitted, voice rough. But I couldn't do it. He looked down at his scar, touched it absently. She punished me for refusing. Lily leaned forward, hope flaring. You survived. For now. Eli's smile was bitter. She doesn't like when you break the rules. She reminds you. Hurts you. Starves you. Angie shuddered. But you're still here, Lily said fiercely. That means it's possible. Eli shook his head. It's not living. It's hiding. It's bleeding a little more every day. He looked at them, eyes hard. If you're here for answers, I've got one. There's no easy way out. Lily stared at him, the cracked stone burning cold in her pocket. I don't care, she said. I'm not trading anyone. Eli studied her for a long time. Finally, he nodded once. Then maybe you've got a chance. He reached under the couch, pulled out something wrapped in cloth, unfolded it. A knife. Its blade was black as night. No reflection, no shine. You'll need this, Eli said. Voice low. Lily hesitated. It's not for killing anyone else, he added quickly. It's for when she comes. He met her eyes. You fight her, he said. You cut the cord before she drags you all the way into her world. Will it work? Angie asked. Eli shrugged. I don't know. No one's ever survived long enough to tell. The room felt like it was closing in. Lily reached out, took the knife. It was heavier than it looked, vibrating faintly in her hand, a weapon, a final option. Not a guarantee, but a chance. It would have to be enough. They thanked Eli, left quickly. The mist thickened around them like angry smoke. As they drove away, Lily glanced back. Eli stood in the doorway watching them, not waving, not smiling, just standing there, as if he knew they wouldn't all be coming back. That night, Lily couldn't sleep. She sat by the window, the list beside her, the black stone and the black knife resting in her lap. The mist shifted outside, shapes flickering just beyond the glass, waiting, watching. She touched the stone, felt it crack again, a thin line spider webbing across its surface. Choose or be chosen. She looked at Max, curled against her feet, at Angie asleep on the couch. I choose us, she whispered, no matter what. The third knock came just after 3 a.m. Lily knew it before it happened, felt it in her chest first. A slow, sickening twist, like her body knew something terrible was about to arrive. Max woke first. Sharp, startled bark that cut through the silence. Angie stirred on the couch, blinking blearily, and then the knock. 1. A deep, resounding blow against the front door. The sound vibrated through the walls, through Lily's bones. 2. Angie sat bolt upright, eyes wide, mouth opening in a silent scream. Max whimpered, tail tucked. Lily gripped the black knife, felt it pulse in her, and the final knock came slow, almost tender. 3. Then silence. No footsteps, no whispering, no figures pressing against the mist, just nothing. Lily stood frozen, heart hammering against her ribs. Was this it? The day the stranger whispered had not arrived yet. Not exactly. But maybe the herald had decided to break her promise. Or maybe this was something worse. A slow, deliberate scratching started at the door, like claws tracing patterns into the wood. Angie clutched Lily's arm. What do we do? She whispered. Lily's mouth was dry. She tried to speak. to say wait, hide, run, but no words came. The scratching stopped. For a full minute, there was only the sound of their breathing. Max growled, low and constant. Then, the door handle rattled, hard, twisting, jolting. It was trying to get in. "No way," Lily whispered. She clutched the knife tighter, moved slowly, silently toward the door. The mist outside boiled and twisted, shapes moving just beyond sight. Then, a voice. Soft, childlike. "Lily, open the door." She squeezed her eyes. "Shut," shook her head. "It wasn't real, it was a trick. Lily, please, it's cold out here." The voice was familiar. Horribly familiar. It sounded like her brother Jason, dead for 3 years. Killed in a car crash on a rainy night. The same rain-slick road that led out of town. Her breath caught, pain flaring raw and bright. "No," she whispered. The voice turned pleading. "It's really me. Let me in." Tears welled in her eyes. Her grip on the knife faltered. Angie grabbed her wrist. Hard. "Don't listen," she hissed. Lily blinked rapidly, focused. It wasn't Jason. It couldn't be Jason. She steeled herself, raised the knife. The door exploded inward. Not physically. No, it stayed intact. But something broke anyway. The boundary, the last thin membrane between inside and out. The mist poured into the house like a living thing. Max barked furiously. Angie screamed. Lily slashed the air with the knife. The black blade sliced through the mist. For a moment, just a moment, it recoiled. The mist twisted into a shape, a figure, a woman. Tall, thin, skin like ash, hair like dead vines. The Herald. Her mouth was a black pit. Her eyes were endless. "You belong to me," the Herald rasped. "No," Lily gasped. She slashed again. The Herald flinched. The black knife glowed brighter, soaking up the mist, the darkness, feeding on it. The Herald's shape flickered, glitched. "You were chosen," she hissed. Lily gritted her teeth. "I choose myself," she said, and drove the knife forward. The blade connected, but instead of piercing flesh, it sliced through the mist. The Herald shrieked, a sound so high and sharp Lily felt blood trickle from her ears. The mist imploded, sucked backward out the broken door, tearing through the house like a cyclone. Papers flew, windows shattered, lights popped one by one. And then, silence, real silence. The house was trashed. Glass littered the floors, the walls were cracked and bleeding, but they were alive. Max whined, nudged Lily's hand with his nose. She knelt and hugged him tightly. Angie stumbled over, blood trickling from a shallow cut on her forehead. You fought her," she gasped. Lily nodded, breathing hard, still gripping the knife. Angie looked around at the devastation, eyes huge. "Is it over?" Lily hesitated, looked out into the mist. It was thinner now. But not gone. The Herald was wounded, but not dead. "No," she said quietly. "Not yet." Later, after they bandaged their cuts and cleaned up what little they could, Angie cornered her at the kitchen counter. "Tell me the truth," she said. Lily wiped her hands on a towel. "I did." "No," Angie said, voice shaking. "I mean about the list." Lily frowned. "What about it?" Angie hesitated, twisting the hem of her shirt between her fingers. "I saw it," she said, "in your bag, earlier." "And?" Angie looked up. "My name's on it, Lily." The words hit her like a punch. "What?" she whispered. Angie stepped back, flinching. "You knew," she said, voice cracking. "You knew I was marked too." "No, Angie, Lily started, then stopped. Because what could she say? She had seen Angie's name weeks ago. She just hadn't said anything, hadn't wanted it to be true. "I was trying to protect you," Lily said weakly. Angie shook her head. "I deserve the truth, Lily. We're in this together, or not at all. Lily swallowed hard, nodded. Together, or not at all. They sat in the wrecked living room, candles flickering against the broken windows. Max dozed at their feet, still, guarding them even in sleep. Lily pulled out the list, spread it between them. 5 names remained, including Angie's, 5 souls marked for death, 5 targets for the Herald's hunger. The mist pressed against the house again, but softer this time, gentler, like a cat pawing at a closed door, waiting. Not if Lily had anything to say about it. They would find the others. They would fight back. They would cut the Herald out of this world like a cancer, even if it killed them, especially if it killed them. The next morning, the mist was thicker than ever. It didn't just cling to the streets anymore. It choked them. Breathing it felt like breathing water. The whole town seemed frozen. Cars abandoned mid-turn, doors hanging open. No birds, no dogs barking, just the wet, suffocating silence. It was time. Lily laced her boots tight, slung her backpack over one shoulder, tucked the black knife into her belt. Angie sat at the table, pale and shaking but determined. Max stood at the door, muscles taut, tail still. Ready. You sure? Angie asked for the 100th time. No, Lily said honestly, but it's either us or her. Angie nodded, wiped her eyes, pulled out the list. Only 4 names left now. They hadn't found the others, too slow. One by one. The Herald had picked them off. Lily didn't know if they were dead or worse, but it didn't matter, not anymore. This fight, this war, had always been personal, and now it would end with them. They drove to the abandoned church on the edge of town, the place where the mist had first started, the place where the first 3 knocks had echoed. It loomed out of the fog like a shipwreck, wood rotting, stained glass shattered, cross hanging crooked. Max growled low as they approached. The air here hummed. The black stone pulsed in Lily's pocket, calling, answering. As they climbed the cracked steps, the front doors swung open without a sound. Inside, the pews were broken, the altar was blackened. Ash drifted down from the rafters like snow, and at the center of the ruined sanctuary stood the Herald, waiting. She was even taller now, thin as wire, her eyes twin pits of endless night, her mouth split into a ragged, jagged smile. "You came," she said. Her voice was like knives scraping bone. "I knew you would." Lily didn't waste time. She drew the knife, held it steady. "We're ending this," she said. The Herald laughed, a sickening, wet sound. "You still don't understand," she said. She lifted one clawed finger, pointed at Angie. "One of you must choose." Angie stiffened, grabbed Lily's arm. "No," Lily said fiercely. "No more choosing, no more trades." The Herald's smile widened. "Then both of you die." The mist poured into the church, flooding the aisles. It wrapped around Max first, lifting him into the air. He yelped, a terrible, strangled sound. "No!" Lily screamed. She ran forward, slashed the mist with the knife. It recoiled, dropped Max hard onto the cracked tiles. He limped toward Angie, whimpering, but alive. The Herald hissed. "You fight your fate," she spat. "You think you can rewrite what was written?" Lily gritted her teeth, raised the knife again. "We make our fate," she said, and she charged. The battle was chaos. The mist formed claws, jaws, blades. Lily cut through them all. Angie threw bricks, swung broken pieces of wood, anything she could grab. Max snapped and growled, biting the mist, wherever it thickened. But the Herald was strong, ancient. Every time Lily struck her, she reformed. Every time Angie landed a blow, she laughed. The black knife pulsed hotter and hotter, burning Lily's hand. "You cannot kill what was never alive," the Herald whispered in her ear. "Then I'll damn you!" Lily snarled. She plunged the knife deep into the floorboards. The ground trembled. The black stone in her pocket shattered. The mist screamed. Light poured from the crack in the floor, pure, white, blinding. The herald staggered. "No!" she shrieked. "You are mine!" The mist thickened one last time, forming dozens of hands, clawing, grabbing. One closed around Lily's ankle, yanked hard. She hit the ground, pain flaring bright. The herald loomed over her, claws raised. Lily looked up at Angie, at Max, at the last good things she had left, and she smiled. "No," she said softly, "I was never yours." And she drove the knife straight into her own chest. The world exploded. The light swallowed everything. The herald screamed, a sound so terrible it cracked the remaining windows, splintered the roof beams. The mist boiled away. The hands dissolved. The church shook, groaned, collapsed inward. When Lily opened her eyes, she was lying in the middle of a sunny field. No mist, no darkness, no herald, just blue sky. The smell of wildflowers. Max barked happily, bouncing around her. Angie knelt beside her, laughing and crying at the same time. "You're alive," Angie sobbed. Lily sat up slowly, touched her chest. No wound, no blood, just a faint burn where the knife had touched her skin. "I thought," Angie started, "I thought you were gone." Lily smiled. "I'm still here." They looked around. The town was whole again, the color returning, the sky clear. The nightmare was over, and for the first time in what felt like forever, Lily believed it. Epilogue. 3 years later, the town rebuilt itself. Slowly, carefully. People came back. Businesses reopened. The mist never returned. But some nights, when the fog rolls low across the fields, Lily still listens, just in case. Max is older now, slower, but still her shadow. Angie runs the coffee shop downtown, bright, busy, happy. They don't talk about the herald anymore, or the knocks, or the knife. But they never forget. Because survival isn't forgetting the monsters, it's knowing you beat them, and still choosing to hope. One rainy night, Lily sits by the fire, Max curled at her feet. A soft knock sounds at the door. She stiffens, hand instinctively reaching for the blackened handle of the broken knife, still tucked in a drawer. But when she opens the door, it's just a kid selling cookies. Lily smiles, buys 2 boxes, and breathes, really breathes. Because for the first time in a long time,